Good morning and welcome to episode 1454 of Hard Factor. It is Friday, May 3rd, 2024. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Everything you need to know in 40-ish minutes or less. But if you need more, go to patreon.com/hardfactor for up to 3 weekly bonus podcasts. Today, I've got the pre-weekend update for you. Totally original segment name about some of the biggest headlines as we head into the weekend.
Good.
Hell yeah. This is going to be great, Will.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks. I thought it was a creative title. Thought it was real original. So
I had never heard of it before. No.
Yeah, it's a new thing, new revolutionary new idea. Wes has Kim Jong Un's pleasure squad at it again.
Yeah, got a little inside baseball into the pleasure squad. I'm going to tell you about from a trader. She's out there tradoring and spilling the beans.
Was she a member of the pleasure squad?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Love
Hell
it.
yeah, man.
And Pat's got biker gangs of Philly kids. Is that it?
Yeah, there's a classic Philly family, and there's 4 kids. One of them is 11 years old, and he's become a massive bike influencer.
Okay.
And he's just cruising his bikes all up and down the neighborhood in Havertown, and the neighbors are not happy about it.
Oh yeah, they're pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing worse than like that'll really anger any guy 50 to 70. 50 and older, really. You know, is just kids. Yeah, kids loose on bikes. They're hard.
I mean, back in the day, every neighborhood had an awesome kid bike gang, though.
Guys,
I know I did.
This is tremendously different. This is like
Even
the fucking piece of shit in downtown Philly who assaulted that poor woman, the mother with the kid in her car, stomped on it, and it was like, we're gonna ride through the city and with our bikes and do the wheelies. It's like a very tame 11-year-old version of that in the suburbs of Havertown.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, but that's still, I mean, even when we were young, West, the old guys in the neighborhood, they'd still be pissed off if there's just, say you stole a shopping cart from the local grocery store. You wouldn't do that, but if you did and then you rode your bikes around next to it, it pissed off every old guy on the street, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah. They didn't like to see that when they're, out on their front patio, trying to enjoy their hard-earned living,
Speaking of old neighbors, I got Charles back a little bit today.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the guy who made you pay for the
off?
fence.
Yeah, Charles ripped me off.
Your neighbor.
He was out there power washing the fence the other day, and he texted me. He goes, "Hey, doing a little power washing. I'll power wash your house for $250." And he's like, that'll include the house and the back porch and blah blah blah. And I was like, you know what? My parents are coming into town soon. I desperately need a power washing. Sounds good, Charles. So I was like, I said, I'll wait a little while. So a couple of days ago, I texted him and said, hey, offers still stand. I bet you need that money, don't you, Charles? He's like, yeah, I'll get to it. I can get to it this week. How about he texted me today. He's like, how about tomorrow at 9:30 a.m.? I was like, sounds good, Charles. And so I started doing a little research, and I was like, $250.
It's more than a power washer costs.
Yeah.
More, you could buy your own power washer.
What do you think I just did, Will? I looked online and I said, oh, I can get a fucking decent power washer for $200. So I said, sorry, Charles, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy a power washer and not give you anything.
You took the power washer into your own hands, literally.
Yep.
And that's
so.
Whoa, dude!
That's what I did on that, Charles. Charles did not think.
He had already spent that money.
Charles did not think you had the balls to look up a power washer on Home Depot.
He's down $250 right now.
I mean, what the fuck, bro? Like for real, what the fuck?
That check.
Yeah, I got a nice Ryobi power washer for $200.
Oh yeah, I mean you can get them cheap now. Like they have even handheld ones. Yeah, I mean,
you didn't say it was a Ryobi.
Well, it's for what I need.
Dude, you can power wash Wes's house with a Ryobi.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm
easy.
kidding. All my tools are Ryobi.
Same here.
What do you think? I have one DeWalt, and everything else is fucking Ryobi. Who's got the money for good shit?
Hey, Milwaukee's like a step up. Right?
Milwaukee's tight. Craftsman's tight.
Listen, don't snub your nose at Ryobi. That gets the job done.
I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm not. I was jokingly snubbing my nose at Ryobi.
Lots of love for the show in the live chat. You can watch us tape live, wherever we go live, YouTube, Facebook, X/Twitter, and Twitch. Leonard, he's back again. He's loving the pod all week. Corey Webb says this show fucks, and so does he. They're all excited. Also, Mark is in the Caribbean, so pray for his liver. Be excited
He's
for
in
him.
Atlanta.
Mhm.
Oh wait, I thought he made it to.
No, not yet. His flight was at like 7 p.m. He dropped off his dog to me today at lunchtime. Brought me a nice Italian sandwich sub.
Nice.
Chatted for a minute. Dropped his dog off, but I think he had a later flight tonight, so I don't think he's there quite yet.
Let me check the Mark tracker here.
He's lubing that thing up, so just let him.
He's gonna come in hot. When you get into the
Come in
Caribbean
your
late
crib.
night, you're coming in hot.
Oh, of course, you pregame. You pregame the entire airport experience is a pregame at that point. Yeah. We're gonna get in. We don't want to be behind. That's what you keep telling yourself.
So if you happen to be at the Dreams in Dominican Republic, I think it is, look out for Mark. He's gonna be there.
He's around there somewhere. Mark is.
Oh, he's at the Dreams.
Don't kidnap him, please.
No, don't kidnap him. I don't know if he's in Punta Cana or where he is, but
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to hear this pre-weekend update?
Yeah, I want to hear about it. I want to hear
Got some major headlines in it.
I want to hear what's going to happen this weekend.
Okay. Well, it's really not what's happening this weekend. Some of the biggest headlines as we head into the weekend. Okay, Pat, this is what you need to know you don't want to skip these, basically, kind of thing. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Up first, let me make sure that I got the pictures for this because you're going to need them. Up first, a second Boeing whistleblower has wound up dead in a second consecutive month. Boeing stock is up about 4% on the news. So,
Man, I was talking to someone about Boeing who's in the know, and they were essentially saying that even though those guys essentially, can print money because there's no one that can really win those contracts, but them or Airbus, they still bribe people. That's pretty widely known, and they get busted for that a lot. I didn't know that, but the killings is new.
yeah, well, there's something that you'll see a common theme with these untimely deaths, Pat, as they're being called right now.
let me tell you though, real quick. When I was flying, I flew strictly Airbuses. I believe the Airbus A321, new ones, at least on the way home.
Feel safe?
Way better than a Boeing. I mean,
Okay.
just the seats had a little more recline to them. It felt more comfortable, more spacious, just cleaner, newer. I felt much safer.
Now,
fuck a Boeing.
Wes, have
Okay,
you thought about that
yeah.
statement and that take at all?
Right.
Is it
No.
okay? I'll pose a question here. Is it potentially the brand, or is it that you were on a new plane?
New planes are sick. Yeah, it's fun.
It could be a new plane, could be the brand. I just felt like Boeing wouldn't have been capable of producing a plane this nice, is what I'm saying.
I buy that.
Okay.
I buy that.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism given what's going on, Wes. But after this second whistleblower has just dropped dead in the second consecutive month, I think I'm going to take a little easy on Boeing. I feel like every time
You can't.
I feel like every time you attack them now, another whistleblower, you're playing with fire at this point. Okay.
What happened, Willie? How do they know how? Do we know how they got deaded?
Oh, we do. This time, the whistleblower who met his untimely demise was Josh Dean. Here's his photograph for you from Wichita, Kansas, who formerly worked for Boeing supplier Spirit AeroSystems. That was they supplied the plane parts to Boeing. Right?
For those of you who can't see him, he's a healthy looking man.
Oh, very
fit
healthy.
Jimmy Kimmel, like a very fit, ripped
45.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Great shape. Yeah.
The
looks
Latin
great.
fit Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah,
Looks great. Yeah, Josh Dean. Josh alleged that leadership ignored manufacturing defects on the 737 MAX production line, until his untimely death on Tuesday of this week from a mysterious respiratory illness that started 2 weeks ago and eventually, led to strokes and, of course, the death on Tuesday morning. So, mysterious respiratory illness that just cropped up 2 weeks ago. Healthy Josh D.
I mean, a little bit more potential deniability for Boeing murdering than the guy who was like on his way to finish testifying.
You can't go back to back gunshots to the head, can you?
No, you're right. You can't. I mean, no company worth their conspiracy salt would do that.
Right. And they're effective at this process, Pat. Say what you want about the Dreamliner and the 737 MAX. Boeing knows how to silence these whistleblowers. In October 2022, Josh Dean said he found a serious manufacturing defect. Mechanics improperly drilling holes in the aft pressure bulkhead of the 737 MAX. And then when he flagged this issue to management, he said nothing was done at all, basically.
You're not supposed to be drilling those holes in the aft. You're supposed to be drilling them in the opposite of the aft, the other part.
Exactly. Right.
The stow.
Don't drill holes in the outside of the plane. It's probably going to explode and fall apart like it's actually been doing in the air, right? So just like Boeing quality control whistleblower Mitch Barnett from Louisiana, who was found, quote unquote, suicided near his own vehicle while giving his testimony against Boeing in South Carolina 1 month earlier, Josh Dean now had also previously submitted his quality concerns about Boeing planes to the FAA, and he is also now dead as of late April in another mysterious, untimely death situation. So, yeah,
that'll stop those whistleblowers.
Yeah, Wes. No, again, so mysterious that that this news led to the first Boeing stock rally in all of 2024, up 4%.
Hard to blow a whistle when you don't got no breath.
Yeah. No, so like we had just discussed, say what you want about their planes, but Boeing knows how to silence an investigation. If they just shift this energy into actually making good planes again, maybe they'll be back on track, right? Once they obviously have a lot more probably allegedly whistleblowers to shut up though. But once they're done with that, take that energy, put it in the air, Yeah. So that's why I'm taking it easy on them. Feel like they're taking action, obviously, right? So
they're turning it around.
What's it called when you turn a plane around? They're going starward.
Coming around, coming back.
Wes, just real quick as a buffer between Will's stories, because I think it's great. Did he say it was just the driveway or the whole house?
No, he said it was the house. He didn't mention the driveway. He said house and the back porch. So I have a little like covered back porch with like a little deck, He said that would be included for your charge. But then my house is like a little box basically. So
also, Wes, that price, I mean, I didn't want to say anything when you first agreed to it, but glad to know that you were planning on fucking him over the whole time.
I wasn't. Well, I was a sucker until I started doing it and started looking.
Insane. It's insane. Well, it's $250 to power wash your house.
Charles likes to rip people off.
Yeah, that's an insane price. I mean, unless it includes like the fucking roof and like all of the concrete. Like,
are you prepared to power wash this weekend? Are you prepared to power wash?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I already watched a YouTube video how to do it. I'm going to be out there just looking at Charles doing my own power washing.
You're going to feel so great. Get the extended wand. That'll make you feel like a boss, Then you can really reach up in the hard to get spots.
I'm going to be like, wow, and I'm going to be like, $200. You believe this?
Can you believe it?
Yeah. No, I mean, Wes, you did the power move, the power wash. Speaking of places that love fucking power washers, in a move that surprises absolutely nobody, Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has signed a bill banning lab-grown meat in the state, the Sunshine State, this week. Alabama, Arizona, and Tennessee are considering the same thing, and it's not the bill that got me interested in this. Thanks to Shane, regular Shane in the Discord server, for sending in this tweet. Taking it to the internet, at General McNews tweets, they say, breaking, Governor Ron DeSantis signs legislation that bans lab-grown meat in Florida. but nobody, and you guys, it's hard to see this on the video here, but nobody was really interested in the tweet so much as, can you see the one thing that stands out in that photograph of Ron next to the
tits,
steak?
the tits girl in the background?
You're right, Wes. That tweet went viral with people just wanting to know who the hell is the girl standing behind the table of meats, who's very stacked. Turns out it's Kayla Mack of the McBee dynasty. You can find her on the Cock, which is Peacock, and also USA Network. So,
wait, she's an actress? Yeah, what the hell is she doing get involved in political matters? It's a dumb move as an actress.
I don't know. She's just standing in there when he's looking at the steaks, and she looks great.
Is she banging that guy, that handsome in shape guy with the hat?
Yeah, the guy who's definitely
she banging him.
Yeah, I think so, Wes. The guy who's
looking down because he's modest,
as big as
the guy that's standing in between her and DeSantis.
The alpha, the alpha of the room.
Oh, the alpha who looks like the owner of some sort of company. He's got that. He's got that owner body, that like news.
Yeah, he looks like he owns
body.
a gun company. Yeah,
right. He's never like a conservative
gun accessory
company.
Yeah, gun accessory company. Yeah.
He probably owns a steak company, judging by all the steaks on the table that he's showing off to the governor. But
he might have more than one business.
You never know. He's probably got a lot. Yeah, he diversifies the portfolio. But she was probably dating him. Wes, good guess.
The portfolio. What? How do you ban it? What does it mean to ban it? Does it mean the importing, production?
It means
he's also not running for president anymore. Why is he doing
It means that if you try to make a fucking lab-grown beef in the state of Florida, he will sick this alpha dude in the long sleeve Under Armour shirt on you, and that guy will fuck you up.
Yeah, well,
that's what the bill says, literally, word for word. No, I don't know. It's just you're not allowed to.
What's the? Do you think like a staff, if you're like a staffer for a politician, you like keep a running tally of like how much time is spent on like bullshit, like grandstanding legislation or like actual work getting done?
I mean, Italy started this with lab-grown meat, so it's like an international movement. Also, Project Artemis. To get NASA back on the moon, it's probably been delayed again after the Inspector General found issues with the Lockheed Airbus built Orion heat shields. Sorry, I'm not showing you the right. There it is. There's the right headline. The heat shields are fucked up. Here's a look at the heat shields completely destroyed by the test flight reentry.
No,
turns out you can't set a human right on top of that. Metal that got completely melted by the atmosphere on reentry. So you can't really sit a human in there because they'll cook alive, So
that's the other company in the duopoly.
Yeah, Lockheed and Airbus are the ones making the Orion the shuttle there. And right now it would roast a human alive if they tried to.
Airbus is too busy making beautiful planes. They need to just
Well, at least it's not Boeing, and at least somebody's checking the work in this case, right? So
I think that's what we're learning.
Yeah.
Is if you don't check the work and you have no bid contracts because lobbyists are paying you the fuck off as, the people that run the government contracts, you're not going to do good work, right? This is this new? Why don't we have an oversight committee or something?
Oh, that's what the OIG is. And he said, you know what? We've spent like $1 trillion billion on this thing, but it actually still would roast a human alive. So you got to make it better. We're on track to have a human back on the moon now, late 2026 at the earliest. That was supposed to be like years ago. Realistically, maybe never with Project Artemis. Okay.
Isn't a heat shield one of the most basic things we've already figured out?
You'd think we'd have.
Didn't we have that like in Apollo in the Apollo days?
They made it back to
Earth. A good enough heat shield. Yeah.
Somehow they made it back to Earth. Wes, this is our current one in 2024. That's it. It's you see, it's destroyed.
Jesus. This is embarrassing.
You care? You don't care.
But none of that matters.
I don't care, but I mean, if you have a heat shield that worked fucking 40 years ago and you can't like replicate that heat shield.
Global warming.
50 years ago.
50 years ago, however long Apollo was.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's relatively embarrassing, but none of that matters, guys. You don't need any of that I just talked about to feel your best. What you need is either weight loss therapy or testosterone replacement therapy from our guys at Lasara Men's Health. Okay. You can get generic Ozempic, that you can get 10% off by hitting the bit.ly link in our show notes every day, or on this episode in particular. You could also get testosterone replacement therapy, which you can also get 10% off by going to Lasara. That's LASARA.com/hard factor. And the tea is fantastic. I just had my meeting with Dr. DeSantis. He's got, we're on track. My tea is through the roof now. I'm feeling great, working out. Anyways, Lasara helping people out. If you want to feel a little bit better, lose some weight, get some juice back in the gym, Lasara.com/hard factor.
The tea is great. It does work.
It seems like you're teed up.
I'm want me to go?
Yeah, y'all are both. We're all teed up.
I can also go if you'd like.
I do want you to go.
I'm gonna go.
Somebody be decisive.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, guys. I'm gonna go. Okay, so we talked about a little bit at the top of the show, and we've talked about this before. Chunky Wes had a moped, and he had a Tomos Targa. I don't know if it was the XL
it was
the LX.
It was a Sprint.
Okay, he had a Tomos.
You guys are the only moped guys. I knew a lot of mini bike guys, but you two, I think, are my only moped friends that had mopeds when they were growing up.
That's right. Now, my parents got me my moped when I was 16, legal age to drive it. Wes, from a little bit more privilege, they got him his moped before he was legally able to drive it. To me, my mind was boggled by that situation because I remember coming home one day at about 12 to my parents after seeing someone's Tomos Targa LX and saying, "Mom, Dad, what are the odds old Patty Cakes can get a moped for his birthday?"
Yeah.
And my dad said, "Well, how old do you have to be to drive it?" I said, "Do you know?" He said, "No." I said, I went and looked it up. And I came back and I said, 16, Dad. And he goes, "Well, there's just no way you can have one then before you're 16 because that's insane to let a child drive a motorized vehicle before the legal age, right?"
Not if he really knows how to handle it.
Yeah, not if you're me. And you've seen me ride a motorcycle.
Wes does. I got to give him credit. He's got skills on I've seen you ride. I've seen you ride a motorcycle a little bit because I haven't ridden next to you or anything, but because I don't ride a motorcycle. But I have seen you ride a jet ski. You got skills, balanced skills. Wes has.
Yeah, I'm good at that kind of stuff. What can I say?
Yeah.
Well, look. Here's the point, I guess. Your Tomos was obeying the rules of the road largely. Yeah, sure. Sometimes you might take that Tomos on the bike path, bike walking path, but that was that was mostly just to avoid getting pulled over, I'm sure.
Yes.
And you also weren't doing wheelies because a 49cc Tomos Sprint can't do a wheelie.
Couldn't do it.
But today, guys, kids have access to shit that we didn't have access to, specifically electric bikes, right? You've seen how cheap these batteries have gotten.
And they're fast as fuck. Yeah.
They are fast as fuck. They're powerful as fuck. They're powerful enough to do wheelies on, in fact.
Some of them are like motorcycle power, or speed. You can get them to go like 60 miles an hour. It's crazy.
No, that's
not
crazy.
60, but like 40.
Some of the top, real top end ones, they can get.
Giving an 11-year-old a 60-mile-an-hour electric.
I don't think it's legal to give them one, but I mean, an adult man can buy some fast fucking electric bikes. It's crazy.
It's true. I remember when I, in lieu of the moped that I couldn't get because it wasn't legal, I got a GoPed, which went 19 miles an hour and was a literal motorized scooter that you stood on, a kick scooter.
That was what everybody had at first, but then Pat upgraded to the actual moped.
But they were expensive as fuck, and not sustainable. Point is, look, kids today for $150, $200 can get a fucking the same price of a bike without a motor. They can get a bike with a fucking motor and rip. And
it's
in
awesome.
Havertown,
Costco is just full of little kid vehicles that are cheap. It's great.
100%. So let's take it to Pennsylvania, Delaware County, Dirtbag Central. Okay, if you hear someone say Wooder, they're probably from Delco. Okay, there's a nice place in Delco called Havertown, and there's a lot of trash in Havertown, just in Philly area in general. And there's a kid. Okay, one-way lil man, 11-year-old Alex Santa Crow. Santa Crocky, doesn't matter. One-way little man, 11-year-old. He's an influencer. He's got 1.3 million subscribers on YouTube, almost 700,000 subscribers on Instagram, and he rides bikes. He's like a little bike life kid, right? He gets these electric bikes. He does fucking wheelies on them, and he's gotten quite a bit of press and shit. He went on That's him and his mom and his dad. Dad's my age, 38 years old, young family, 4 kids, and he like went on Jennifer Hudson's show, Meek Mill recently, like shouting around. The kid's blowing the fuck up. And this week, this sign was posted in his front lawn. My neighbor is a Karen. That was posted by his dad, Alexander.
All right. Alexander's not playing that game with the neighbor. What's she upset about?
Oh, Alexander's the dad. Big black flag. My neighbor's a Karen. Here's his Facebook post. So after having 3 cops at my house blocking the road over a Walmart kid's toy bike, I received citations a week later in the mail. That prompted this nice flag to go on my lawn for all the neighbors across the street to read when exiting the neighborhood. Well, today, they reported to Philly Magazine and asked for their help to get it taken down. I'd say the write-up came out pretty good. Yeah, so there was an article in Philly Mag about this whole situation. Alexander, the dad, said in the magazine article, "These fucking people are something else. It's just amazing." And I guess he's referring.
Pat, the picture you put up of the family and the kid, that just looks like a normal bike. It's just like a normal BMX bike, right?
Right, you're right, dude. It is a normal bike. And look, real quick, his mom. This is from his mom, who's responding to haters on that Facebook post. She's saying the call to the news, Philly Mag, was about the flag on the lawn, which they reported and we put up in retaliation of the recent phone calls. The neighbors calling the police, and they want it down. The cars showed up 3 or 4 times, causing a seat at my home. It's where all this stemmed from and prompted the flag on our lawn. The calls were never for a kid on a dirt bike. My son was not on a dirt bike and has never been in Havertown other than on our private property.
Okay.
So you're right, Wes. It's just a regular bike.
He does have a dirt bike on his private property.
Well, if it read on, okay.
Here's him popping a wheelie on a full-on motorcycle as an 11-year-old boy.
Oh shit!
Here's his 9-year-old brother, full-on popping a wheelie on just a regular street.
That's pretty good.
Here's him on the wrong side of the road, popping a wheelie.
Yeah, they're just they're that family.
Here's the 11-year-old popping a wheelie while cruising through Delco.
Well, fuck these people.
In and out of traffic.
That kid is ridiculous.
That kid's a menace.
He's a fucking menace, man.
It's amazing.
He's
got skills though. Menace with skills.
Dude, he's great.
He's very talented for an 11-year-old kid. There's no doubt. And the whole family's talented, honestly. Like One Way Little Man or Little Man One Way or whatever. You know, he's got a huge social media following. His other siblings have big followings too. Like his 9-year-old brother, they all go by One Way. Like that's their like prefix for their crew. One Way Little Man. His little brother is his little brother is One Way D's Nuts. He's a 9-year-old. His sister, Alex. Here's the little guy just busting a wheelie on a public
It's like he's
road.
in the ghetto.
I mean, these kids have skills with the wheelies. It's insane. They can go for a long time.
Here's the 9-year-old. Watch him whip from the right side of the road to the center lane on just an open street.
Dude, he's doing tricks. He's standing on the back of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a gas-powered dirt bike.
That's a full-on gas. Here's the sister standing up on her electric bike while juggling and going down a public street in
Her dad's
Philly.
like a circus king.
It's
It's like all these kids are gonna ride the motorcycles inside that ball, you know, like the ball of death.
Yeah.
That was on just a regular bike. That was incredible. That was really cool.
Here's a picture of the sister after her reconstructive foot surgery. Anyway, look, the point is the parents are saying it's just kids being fucking kids, okay? But the problem is, guys, it's not kids being fucking kids. We have a little inside baseball, guys, so I'm not going to tell you who this is, but this is someone who lives in the neighborhood. This is a text. In all seriousness, some kid in Havertown's going to get run over because these tween boys are driving their bikes like little assholes, doing wheelies in the middle of busy streets with no helmets. Now, when they film, they have helmets on.
Yeah,
Mom is super defensive on social media. There's a walking running path that cuts behind their house. They ride on it a lot doing tricks. It's just not the place for it. And then they post on social media complaining about kids running their bikes on the path and being disrespectful, and mom will hop on and be like, actually, my son's an influencer. Yeah, so they're just talking a bunch of shit, but they're absolutely just letting their kids fucking run amok. The dad...
Well, the one-way family, I mean, somebody's going to have to step up to them for them to... They're not going to, like, they're not just going away without a fight, obviously. They feel like they own this community.
Listen, the good news is they're soon going to buy a RV toy trailer, and they will soon be on a circuit of dirt bikes somewhere across America.
Yeah,
Travis
Pastrana pick them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're making a fuck ton of cash too, and clearly, mom and dad, it's their business. Here's mom and a Chanel necklace. Look, fuck you, one-way family. You're pieces of total shit. It's awesome that your kids have this skill set. It's awesome that you're fostering it, although I do think you're exploiting your children a little young running a YouTube channel like this.
Parents' career is running the kids' YouTube channel. I always find that a little strange.
It's weird, but fuck you, you pieces of shit. I guarantee you, one of these kids in this crew, it's about 10 kids that are, one of them's going to get seriously fucking hurt. Not just the reconstructive surgery on your daughter's foot, but or one of them's going to die. And not only is it going to be horribly tragic for that kid, but also the person that's going to kill him, that didn't want to fucking kill him, that was just driving, and a fucking 11-year-old doing a wheelie.
I was on the right side of the street, and
it's nuts. It's fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. And then they're talking shit on the internet. The mom is in every fucking comment. Like this piece of shit mom and this piece of shit dad in every. They're just dumb Philly trash.
Well, I mean, come on, look at her.
Well, I guarantee you they'll hear this story. So fuck you, you pieces of loser shit. Take your kid off the fucking road, or at least own it, you dumbass bitch.
But whatever carnival you end up working at, let me know, because I want to go check out that show.
Yeah, I'd like to see
around the
kids are talented.
The metal
but
ball.
You're fucking assholes. You guys are next level assholes.
Yeah. I mean,
I say take them out of the neighborhood. I'm with Wes. Get them the touring trailer. Get them on the road.
They will.
Let me see some of these shows. Be able to go. I think everybody wins in that situation.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking back on it, like the moped thing, we had one guy in our neighborhood that was just furious about it because they were noisy, and
the mopeds weren't that noisy. Dirt bikes are fucking noisy.
Oh, dirt bikes are way noisier, but it is still a little like.
I mean, dude, if a dirt bike riding past your house or a moped riding past your house is pissing you off, you need to get some activities going on where you wouldn't even notice it, because that's too much. You need to not be zoned in. Like I get with this guy's got a pack of bikes going. That's a different story. But like, if it's like a couple kids on mopeds or dirt bikes in your neighborhood, and you just can't stand the sound of them zooming by once in a while, like, find something to do.
This is the ultimate. The dad gave this quote to Philly Mag. One of the cops once told me that the community doesn't like it because he's out here in parking lots at shopping centers, and it brings kids in from other townships in West Philly. He's well known. People want to see him. And the police chief laughed at that suggestion and responded, he's just not famous. We're talking like 10 kids will come to see him do stunts. We just want to make sure that they do it safely.
He's YouTube famous. How many views do these YouTube videos get? Like
more famous than us. He's got 1.3 million views. But we don't draw a crowd when we go out,
Right. We can't do a wheelie.
No.
Fair enough. All right. Last story of the week. Yeah. Fucking losers. I'd be pissed. This is probably soon to be dead woman, Yeonmi Park. Okay. There she is holding her book. She's not only a traitorous defector from the nation of North Korea, she's also a blabbermouth.
So she doesn't have an eating disorder. I was about to say 100% eating disorder, but then she's just North Korean.
That's being North Korean is also considered an eating disorder, I think. Yeah,
she lives in fear.
I've tried to get her on the show before, but it's hard to contact her.
Yeah, there she is with Joe Rogan. Anyway, she wrote a book about her story as a defector, which included being a sex trafficked in China before she made her way to America. And she's now spilling more tea on the big guy, Kim Jong Un. We all know that Kim Jong Un has, the most infamous squad in the world, the Pleasure Squad, which he travels with via his weaponized bulletproof train. Here he is saying See you later. I'm gonna go hang out with the pleasure squad for a few days. Catch you, on the flip side.
See you never.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just holding up a hand, waving to the people, but he's really saying 5 blowjobs.
Yeah.
He's smoking a cig right there, isn't he? He's smoking
Yeah,
a
Yeah, he is for sure.
Hey, you see his hand? He's got a
Yeah.
cig in his hand. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he loves them. Why wouldn't he? He's got a beautiful coat on. Anyway, she's now telling us how the pleasure squad is assembled and the little inner workings as to how it goes down. So she told the Daily Star that every year Kim Jong Un gets a new crop for his pleasure squad, consisting of 25 virgins, which are hand selected / kidnapped for him, in addition to even more girls who are kept as basically slaves for his higher ranking underlings, like the higher ranking generals in his crew. So she says that she claims to know all the details that she's spilling because she apparently was scouted twice to be on the pleasure squad herself. Luckily for her, she was passed on because, according to her, of her family status, whatever you got to tell yourself. Actually, she said she had some defectors in her family, so she was not selected. Yeah, okay, sure. Sounds like someone didn't pass the looks test. But she now says that here's how Kim Jong Un selects his slaves. She says, basically, he has officials that go around and visit every classroom, even schoolyards, in case they miss someone that was pretty. And
where the dumb girls at?
Yeah, basically, he just goes around the country and just kidnaps the hot chicks.
Right. This is like the power of what Epstein's operation could be if he had the power of communism behind it.
Yeah,
he had the communist state behind him.
Right.
Epstein would have managed a similar program to the Kim Jong Un. Program.
Yeah, Kim Jong Un is his hero.
What's it like to be what kind of advance man is that? Like, you're the advance man who goes and scouts virgins.
It's like a baseball scout.
Right. They have a whole scouting department just for the pleasure squad.
That's right. So once they find the pretty girls, the first thing they do is check into their family status, their political status, and they eliminate any girls with family members that have escaped from North Korea or have relatives in South Korea or other countries. So they want you to be very loyal.
Right.
And
they don't want you to kill him when you're having sex with him.
Precisely. Yeah.
Also, they don't want anyone out there to tell your story.
I guess. I mean, but once you're in the pleasure squad, you're pretty much just there forever. I imagine they go the way of horses when they're done racing.
It sounds like Jabba the Hutt's vibe, like where they're all on chains, like when Princess Leia was chained
exactly
there.
Yeah. Very sexy scene that. Anyway, then after undergoing medical examinations to check that they're actual virgins, they then have to go through schooling to learn how to please the leader and these other men, and that's their only goal, says Miss Park, is to basically please them in various ways. So in the various ways, again, she says they're selected on social status, attractiveness, and Kim, of course, reserves the most attractive for himself. And as I said, the others go to the lower ranking generals and politicians. And she says the pleasure squad is broken up into 3 teams. Okay. The first team specializes in giving massages. Another team is for entertaining through song and dance. And the third team is the sex team. Their only purpose is to be sexually intimate with Kim Jong Un and the other men. Right. So, you don't want to be on that team. You probably want the song and dance team.
I would imagine you're not excluded from having sex with Kim Jong Un if you're on the song and dance or the massage team.
Right.
Key.
If you dance too sexy, you go to the sex team.
You want to dance your heart out so that he can say, "Job well done. I understand you don't have any energy because you left it all on the floor."
Yeah. But he is the supreme leader after all, so he gets what he wants. So I mean, I don't know.
That's right. She also said that
you want to try to be as gassy as possible.
Yeah, sweat all over him.
Yeah. She also said that this is, for many in North Korea, the families who basically the girls are kidnapped from find that this is actually a better solution for their daughters because their lives in North Korea are so terrible. There's so little to eat. They can't provide for their daughters. And this happens in other countries too, where women get
being a
sold off.
royal sex slave is
Yeah.
probably better than being like a peasant communist in North Korea. It's
Yeah.
probably true, which is terrible.
Yeah, you get fed a little better, but there has its perks, has its downsides. She also said that while being on the elite pleasure squad might provide the women with a false sense of a better life for a time, that the pleasure squad is it's very short-lived, because once the women reach their mid-20s, Kim Jong Un says, or a lot of times they're married off to the generals and other people.
Whoa, dude! Imagine being a general having to take a pleasure squad graduate as your bride. Oh,
yeah, pretty
having to
brutal, dude. You can't say no when Kim Jong Un makes you take one of the graduates. Like,
well, I mean, like,
he'll kill you.
We've all taken pleasure squad graduates as our brides. Like you got this woman who banged just Kim Jong Un. Right?
Oh, she has to bang everybody who comes over to entertain him as well.
You think Kim share? Kim don't share like that.
Yeah, with honored guests, 100%.
I mean, once he de-virginizes them, I think they're fair game. And then it's also rumored that his current wife, I guess, it was originally on the pleasure squad, kind of like Hugh Hefner's, wives came from living in the house for a little while, and then he marries them. That's kind of like how
it's definitely a shared vibe, just like Playboy or Epstein, any of that stuff. It's the same exact kind of thing. Like he's got a harem, and if you're close to him, you get in on the action of the harem. But one day you may get too close, fly too close to the sun, and then he forces you to take somebody he doesn't want to fuck anymore as your wife, even though she's been his sex slave for the last 13 years.
He sucks you immediately.
Over there.
Probably people see a lot of weird shit as an honor over there.
You see her?
Yeah,
former pleasure harem member. Wow, lucky.
Whoa. One more thing before we close out. Miss Park also claimed that this system is a family tradition, as you might expect, with the incumbent leader preferring more slender, taller, and Western-looking women, while his father, Kim Jong-il, liked round-faced women who would not dwarf him because he was so short. So he'd be like, "She too tall, face not round enough. Need short body, round face, or I kill you." So that was his thing. Short, round face, short body.
That's their thing.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. And Kim Il Sung, father to Jong, had a more traditional taste in women, and he called his pleasure squad, Ponchobo Electronic Ensemble. That was the name for his pleasure squad, the Ponchobo Electronic Ensemble. So maybe they did more entertaining than fucking back in the day. Probably not, but and of course it's all pedophilia as well, because they recruit these girls from the time they're like 15, and then they just groom them. They say they wait until they're of age, but they don't, of course. So it's just a fucked up system that he's got going over there. But then here he is waving, gonna go hang out with my 25 virgins. See you guys on the flip side.
It's kind of like LDS.
What?
Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. It is.
Wives.
Yeah. Well, then they're young and
they're virgins and
So that's the inside scoop on the pleasure squad. I'm sure you were dying to know that. And that's it for the show this week. We love you. If you need more, go to patreon.com/hardfactor. Be sure to support our sponsor. Go to lasara.com/hardfactor. Get your tea, get your weight loss, and most importantly, have a great fucking weekend.
Treat yourself like Kim Jong Un.